Yeah, I had a teacher at Second City that was like, "What's it like to just have all those laughs going into you and to just like you like killing with stand up?" And this was before I remember this because I have context. It was before I had ever killed, and I was like, "It's great, man."
It's
And
wild.
yeah, it's like no other feeling. And I was just BS'd my way through that answer, and then I ended up killing like years later,
Right.
like really like doing a
Murdering.
great job. And I was like, oh, that's what that teacher was asking me about,
Yeah.
like what that.
But you did
feeling was
answer
like.
it right because you were like, "Oh, this is unlike any other feeling."
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess I
Yeah.
answered it right, but I was guessing at the time.
Yeah, it's like yes anding, just like
Yeah.
improvising the right answer out of it. It's like, oh, okay, here we go. How you feeling, dude?
I feel good, man.
We're inside
I'm so
this,
excited.
right?
You got a good vibe, and then you got cool stuff here.
Yeah.
I want one of these for my house.
I mean,
Are they hard to set up?
yes. Well, to get the presets where you want them and stuff like that, but they are fun to play with.
Yeah. Do you and your wife ever just sit here and prank call people?
No, but I mean,
I would
we
all
could,
day.
I mean,
That's where I'm at maturity wise.
you just prank calls on the
Like,
reg,
hey, honey, you want to just prank call tonight and order in? Get some Postmates?
and she's like,
She's like, no, I'm a grown woman. But I'd be like,
let's do it. Let's get some pizza. Let's just make some prank phone calls
why
now.
would my wife sound like that?
No,
That
this
was
is what your wife sounds like, dude.
It's really unfair.
No, I'm just like I'm fully figured
I'm like,
cow.
listen, Rebecca.
Okay, I'm Rebecca. I'm Jeff Dye's wife. Yeah, totally.
That's phenomenal.
Yeah.
How many presets are there? How many voices?
I mean, there's
Hundreds?
like a couple hundred like different. It also like there's singing filters and stuff like that too. So
I once worked with a comedian. He was the man of 1,000 voices, and I always wanted to be like, I think that number's off.
that's, dude, 1,000 is
Right.
such a high
This,
number.
This doesn't even have.
No, that doesn't even have 1,000, and it's a machine,
And it's a robot. Yeah,
it's what it's designed to do. I always would get mad when like my phone GPS, it was like in that gray area of technology where the phone GPS was worse than like the little TomTom in the car or whatever. I'm like, come on, you're supposed to be a smartphone. And then the TomTom's like, this is my one job, bro.
I'm an expert at this.
Yeah.
And this is I
my
do.
one thing. I'm not trying to showboat or anything.
I'm not texting. I'm not calling.
I'm just getting you to your
I
destination.
don't know why the phone's trying to be everything.
It's
rude.
Did you have that in your car?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you know how dumb I am. This is when I had no money. I was like living in that car. One night while I'm sleeping in the back seat, the front window breaks, and then someone stole I think it was
TomTom or a Garmin?
I had a Garmin because that's what they were at Costco.
Give a Garmin.
But how dumb am I to leave that in the window on the suction cup?
Yeah,
Like
that's
you got to
pretty
take it
bad.
out, but I was like, I have it perfectly set and it's on there, and I don't want to mess. But like, I thought I was gonna get murdered. I don't think the guy was expecting to see a man back there.
That's kind of like leaving your iPhone in your cup holder now.
Yeah.
You're asking for someone
What
to
are
just
you
be
doing?
like, Psh.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I agree.
I don't think I've ever had anything stolen out of my car. I had my wife's window for whatever reason. I don't understand this with people whenever they bash windows in and don't take anything.
Right, or maybe they just looked around and like,
Maybe that's what it is.
yeah, like what'd she have in there?
She's
She's
nothing
like,
good in here.
they didn't take my Starbucks mug. You're like,
Yeah.
well, he probably doesn't. He's a criminal. He's
Yeah.
looking for money, drugs.
Yeah.
I don't know why he
Just
does a
like
gun.
maybe they saw like a gym bag and they were like, oh, there's probably something good in
Right.
there. And it's like, no.
Actually, I shouldn't prejudge the criminals. Maybe they're more sophisticated people than that. But I presume they want drugs or money, and that's quite a presumption.
I think, you know what's very interesting? We have a sophisticated criminal calling into the show right now.
This always happens.
Hello,
Yes.
this is Jeffrey Dye.
Yeah. What's your name?
Oh, this is Clarence.
Clarence. Thanks for calling in. Appreciate you.
Clarence Fitzgerald. Yes.
Yeah. What can we do for you, bud?
Yes, I'm calling on behalf of all of my criminal friends and employees and employers around me. I'm quite offended that you think that we just want drugs and money whenever we're stealing from people.
I also said guns. You might want guns or
Guns,
drugs
or
money.
money. I find that reprehensible,
Oh,
actually.
really?
Yes.
I find you reprehensible stealing stuff. What do you like? I guess you're a more complicated creature than I thought.
Well, we like many things. We like fine jewelry. We like shoes. If you would have left, you have some nice shoes, Jeff Dye. If you would have left those in your car, we could have perhaps swindled those. And also, we like affidavits. We like birth certificates.
Right.
We like, paintings. If you've never
Paintings? Who's leaving paintings in cars?
Well, you never know. It's just sometimes, I saw a pocket Rembrandt in the back
Oh,
of
wow.
a VW 2005 bug once, and I said, that's mine.
Yeah, Clarence, we've learned a lot today.
Yes.
I shouldn't be judging criminals.
You shouldn't be judging criminals.
But you know what I
Criminals
think?
are people too,
I think
you
you're better than this. I think you're better than stealing from cars.
Oh, what do you think the life I should lead should look like?
I think you should earn your own stuff. You seem very sophisticated and complex and open-minded, but then you're just robbing people's cars, stealing shoes.
Well, I mean, we also, sometimes steal air fresheners.
Oh, wow.
Yes, you never know what, nice closet inside your home might need a sprucing up.
You should swing by Hollywood and
Okay.
break into Jeremiah Watkins' wife's car. I feel like you would appreciate the things she has, unlike one of your criminal buddies who just left. Didn't take nothing. No air fresheners or nothing.
Dude, don't tell him to
I'm
go
sorry.
steal from my wife's car.
I'm trying to open my mind.
Now, what street does he live on?
You
Yeah.
better not say where I live. Jeff.
Whitsit. He lives on Whitsit, 217.
Duly noted.
Yeah, tell all your pals.
I will. Well, I'm glad I could stand up for myself. I shall talk to you gentlemen later.
I've learned a lot. Thanks for your call.
Wow, Clarence, the sophisticated criminal.
Yeah, what an elaborate bean.
Yeah,
I don't like him.
I don't think I like
I
that
think he's a
guy
piece
either.
of trash,
yeah,
Robbing
definitely.
cars and then getting offended.
Yeah, man.
I've not met a
What
lot
kind
of snowflake criminals.
Yeah, what kind of a douche do you have to be to get mad after somebody calls you out for stealing stuff?
Have you so one time someone broke into my car, they took my backpack. And it had a laptop, it had all this great stuff in it. And not great stuff, but stuff they could easily sell really quickly. Things that have not sentimental value, but
you-
have some monetary value.
You describing your backpack took me back to grade school. I was like, "This is a cool backpack.
Lots
Yeah,
of
it got
cool
great stuff." And anyway, never mind.
It was a Toomey, so even the backpack alone was worth money.
Yeah.
Even if they just threw everything out inside. So I just wanted a little bit of sympathy from people.
Sure.
I was like, oh man, this sucks. Like they broke my window and they took my bag. Everyone's first reaction was like, why'd you leave your bag in your car? You're like, dude.
It's so infuriating when you get that response when you're looking for sympathy or
Yeah,
empathy.
Just go, hey, that's too bad, man.
That sucks,
Was there
man.
anything in the bag?
Yeah.
Something. But they were just like, why'd you leave your bag? And I was like, because there's been some theft in the locker rooms at the yoga studio, and the yoga studio says, hey, leave your shit in your cars because there's been some crime. If I would have taken it in, and they'd have stole it out of my locker, people would have been like, why didn't you just leave it in your car?
Yeah, of course.
Like, it's just such a
constant-
blame. Yeah,
yeah.
it's very frustrating.
It's extremely frustrating.
And that's how Clarence always wins.
That's where he got his stuff. He probably stole from you, dude.
Yeah, so that's probably the
Probably
guy.
stole from.
Yes, I do have his laptop, actually.
Wait a minute, I need that.
No, I gotta go.
Well,
Gotta go.
gotta go.
He's kind of a sweetheart, that
He's
guy.
a little bit. Yeah.
I do believe he's better than stealing.
Yeah, he's definitely endearing to listen to.
Gotta go.
Gotta go. Bye. Dude, I'm glad you're able to come on the show. I've been bugging you for a little bit.
We've had to reschedule a few times.
Yeah, we had
but
to.
here we are.
But it's good though. We've both been out of town and stuff a lot. So
Yeah, you've been traveling the world, which I'm excited to see.
oh, thanks, dude.
It seems that you're going to have a huge pop very soon, like singularly. So, like, what you did the roast battle stuff, and you were like a huge thing on the all Negro wave. Is that what you guys called it?
Yeah.
I know it's went through some
For TV purposes,
watering down.
the wave.
Yeah, it's
for,
went watered down.
it did
big
get.
time.
Yeah, it definitely got TV watered down. Yeah,
Well, they have to, right?
yeah, they got to do that.
And then, so that was huge. You got to do all these great opportunities because of that. And then now with Kill Tony, you're a huge part of that show. Like, you're one of the main guys on that show. I think there's going to be something where someone's going to go, let's make him the face of this.
We'll see. Yeah.
It's going to happen.
Oh.
You'll see. Jeff Jackpot Die, put it in the universe. It's going to happen.
Yeah, dude.
Put it out
Swish,
there.
swish. Put it out
Put it
there,
out there.
dude.
Drips.
Drip drips. Or did you play basketball in high school?
No, I'm the worst.
No?
No, I used to play in that basketball league like the first couple seasons.
Oh, yeah.
And I do. That's I guess a weird thing is that I feel like I do look somewhat athletic. People look at me and go, "I bet he can play a sport."
Did you ever run?
I
Or
run
do cross
now,
country
but
or
no, I
anything?
never did any of that.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I would actually assume that you have done some kind of
Yeah, I'm
like
tall
sport.
and lean.
Yeah.
So people go, "Oh, he probably plays no,
Yeah.
he probably plays baseball." No, I'm not good at any of it, but I like it all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The
so
comedy
on the
league
court,
was
they'd be
fun.
like, "Oh, we got big guy," because that's my thing. What? Not in the league because we already had teams prearranged. But like, let's say I go to a blacktop, like on the road.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, if they're about to pick teams, I won't shoot. I won't whatever. I'll wait till right before they're about to pick, and then I'll kind of like just dribble down, and then I'll like dunk it, and then I always get picked. They're like, "Oh, we'll take the big guy."
Yeah.
It's the best. But then they don't realize till the game I'm not any good. I can't shoot.
So you can dunk though?
I can dunk. I'm 6'4". I got monkey arms. Look at these things. They're long arms.
I'm 6'3" and I cannot dunk,
Really?
which means that I do not have hops.
Well, I have no hops. If you watch me dunk, my feet are like this far off the ground.
What's
It's
your-
just all long arms. I feel like you'd be able to dunk if you figured it out.
You
the
do
time.
have some long arms though.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
weird. And then long, yeah. So it's like it's just like and it's not a pretty dunk. It's not like I'm hanging on the rim. But they just
So?
see a guy dunk and they go, "Oh, that." We'll take
we'll take that.
that." And then I don't shoot or anything. I just
Oh,
pass
come
it
on,
off.
man! What are you doing,
The worst.
dude? I played not a ton of pickup games. I would go to parks occasionally with some friends and stuff like that. But I played in like high school and grade school and stuff like that. Did you ever wrestle, or are you
Nope.
just a huge wrestling fan?
I like, yeah. Well, if they had that kind of wrestling at my school, I would have definitely done that.
Dude, how
like if
dope
I could
would-
just show up with chairs and like a gimmick and like a whole thing, I would love that.
That might be $1 million idea that
Why
we just
aren't they
stumbled
teaching
upon.
that in school?
Like yeah, there's regular high school wrestling, but why can't there be a training program in high school for
it'd be the
professional
best.
wrestling?
Yeah, it's acting meets like it's
Dude,
it's
yeah.
thespian like
it's
athleticism.
theater mixed with that could be your theater and your sport credit.
It'd be amazing. I think it's a good program. I would take it, and people would laughingly take it. People go, "Oh, I'm going to take it," and then they'll
And
get
then
in and go,
they-
"Oh, this is actually really
They
cool."
would have so much fun. I would have a blast. You got to create your character.
Right,
You
it's
got to
so
create
fun.
who you want to be.
First day of class, we just teach you the history of wrestling.
Yeah.
So just so that you know that, like, hey, we know it's silly.
Yeah.
It's a show.
Yeah.
Like, nobody reads Moby Dick and they're like, "Oh, God, the whale is like, there's no whales that are that big." No, it's fake. It's okay. Things are okay if they're not real. Friends isn't real. I don't know if you know that. Seinfeld wasn't real. These were shows.
What?
So that's the name of the thing with wrestling. Once you acknowledge, like, oh, yeah.
But
it's,
no one did tell me that life was going to be this way.
That's the thing. Like, I think anybody who just acknowledges, oh, okay, as long as everyone is on the same page.
Yeah.
We all know this is theater. It's choreographed. Then you can enjoy it. And they should teach it in school.
What kind of now would you try to be a heel, or would you try to be like a mainstream like hero kind of
I'd try
guy?
to be a good guy.
Yeah?
Yeah, I think it's harder.
You think it's
easy.
harder to
Yeah,
be
being a bad guy's easy. Just do all the fun bad stuff that you would never do in real life.
It's hard to come up with a good angle on being a good guy, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Well, like that's why I always like kind of like John Cena in a way. Like even though he's not even like my top 100 favorite wrestlers, I do respect him. I'm like, look, he's trying to be good. He's always doing the right thing. I think that there's something noble about that. It's like Luke Skywalker and Darth Vader. He's our good guy, Luke.
Right.
Not nearly as cool. What's cooler? Being a big black robot that cuts the heads off of anyone that like talks trash and chokes people. Yeah, it's so much cooler. That's why it's hard to be Luke Skywalker, because he looks like a boy and he's like, he's fighting for nobility. But like that's a virtue in life. We got to be good.
We'll be right back after this. Oh, dude, you were a panelist on Kill Tony recently.
Yeah.
Did you have a good time on when
It's
we
so
had you on?
fun. Yeah, I think the first time there'll be nothing like the first time, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Because you're just kind of like soaking it all in. Like with this,
There's
it's
a lot
crazy.
going. There's
Yeah,
a lot going on.
With you guys doing all the characters, it was
Yeah.
like I was laughing so hard.
I think
and
we
then
were-
Red Band's like sound
yeah.
effects and stuff. It was just it's a lot going on. Though if you want to watch that episode or listen to it, you might recall the episode if you watch a lot of those. It was me and Eric Griffin, and the first 3 comics in a row were just so racist.
Oh yeah, that was that up, dude. It was
So uncomfortable.
to the point where we've never even had anything like that on the show
And
or
3 in a
since
row.
then, where it's like you get one every once in a while where we're like, all right, dude, like that wasn't really funny. Like guess you get what you're going for, but there was not even that
Nothing.
with those.
Yeah,
We're just like, oh, you're just racist.
Oh, you're just a bad person,
Yeah.
I think. Like, or like at least this came from a really weird spot.
Yeah.
Like it was when Kanye was like first started wearing his like "Make America Great Again" hat, and one of the comics goes, "Man, I don't know what Kanye's so mad about. Someone should give that monkey a banana." And I was like, "Whoa,
Yeah.
we can't."
Just like out of
Like,
nowhere.
What are you talking about?
Like,
That's
you can't
not even-
say that. Like, why would you even think that that's even a joke or that you could say that?
And he went over his time to do that joke.
Yeah. Yeah. The cat meowed and then he said it. And we're like, you said that after you ran out of time? Like, gotta get this in here.
Wait, I need to get my
I really gotta get this one-liner
monkey
in here.
banana line. Oh, it was
Yikes.
so bad. Well, I think that's something that they kind of teach in school nowadays because he was Mexican. So I think he thought like, oh, I'm allowed to say anything I want. You're
Right.
like, no, it's still
Yeah, it's-
latent hate, racism.
Yeah.
When you say something as awful as that.
It's still very rough.
Yeah, like racism is not exclusive to white people. Like, but this guy just said it, and then the next girl went up, and she was from like I think she was Haitian, and she was like talking about how like she doesn't like black people because they tip bad.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And we're
and-
like,
and-
what is happening right now?
What is the show we're on?
Yeah. Eric, meanwhile, he's having a meltdown. He's
Right.
like, what is happening?
I was just like smiling and trying to be quiet. I was like, I thought this was gonna be good for my career.
Oh, yeah,
it was
dude.
so uncomfortable.
Which you have done a lot of cool different things like
Yeah.
within your career. Like stand up, you've done like a lot of hosting stuff, and then even this recent show that you like. Can you tell me a little bit about the show you've done with William Shatner
Yeah.
and Terry Bradshaw and those
It's
guys?
a travel show, but
Yeah.
it's like a bucket list show, and it's a reality show, and it's an adventure comedy series is what they call it. But it's me, Henry Winkler, Terry Bradshaw, George Foreman, and William Shatner, and then we just travel the world.
Which is like, dude, it's you look at that group and you're like, how does that guy get in there?
Right.
That's so
It's
cool.
Really weird. Well, the one thing I will say, I've never said this before. People go, so they always go, man, you every day must be so like starstruck. And here's the thing. I love all those men. I respect all those men I like, but they're not my guys.
Right.
Right? If it was Hulk Hogan, Ken Griffey Jr., you know, like I'd be like, can you believe the show I'm on? Every day I would wake up and just be like, I would have a huge ego,
Yeah.
huge head.
Because
I
you had
could-
posters of those guys
Yes,
and the
that's who
pennants
I
and all that
watched.
stuff. Yeah. Video games,
William
all that
Shatner
stuff.
was like 55 when I was born.
Yeah.
Literally, he's 87 now.
Yeah.
George Foreman had already retired. Terry Bradshaw had retired for a while. For like he'd been retired for like 10 years by the time I like was born, and then he was a broadcaster.
There's an alternate timeline Jeff Dye out there that was cooking on a George Foreman grill watching Star Trek, and he's like, I did it.
Exactly. Well, and that's the thing is, I think like 40-year-olds, 50-year-olds, those were their guys.
Yeah.
And so I'm not that old, and so I've got my own guys. And in the same way, like if wherever the old guys, like let's say we're 70-something years old or 80 years old, and NBC's like, hey, you guys gonna be the old guys because you've had such great iconic comedy careers.
Yeah.
And you can be with this young guy. He's not gonna. I wouldn't expect him to care.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I love all those guys, and I knew who they were before the show, and I knew about their careers, but they weren't like my favorite celebrities in the world.
Yeah. What are some of the cool places that you've gotten to go like with that show?
Well, like Spain a lot. You ever been to Spain?
No. It was
Spain's
my
beautiful.
first time in Europe over the
Oh,
weekend.
really?
Yeah, I'd never been
Dude,
outside. I
what'd
had
you
been to
think?
Canada and Mexico. Of Europe?
Just in general, yeah, like so nice to leave America.
Dude, it was cool. It was. I felt like we did a couple, like we did like very touristy things.
That's
like
what you should do.
Like, yeah, but it was great. Like
Yeah.
it was, and to go with friends, like that was, and also comics on top of being.
So much
It was
fun.
amazing. Yeah.
Do you drink?
I don't.
Europe drinking is pretty fun.
Yeah,
But I imagine
well-
you still had a good time.
Well, yeah. What was great about it is, so we stopped at a ton of different bars in this Ireland like Temple Bar area,
Nice.
and so we were basically bar hopping. And what I got to enjoy is the live music that was going on at all these different like there's
Oh,
like
nice.
these Irish folk bands and stuff that was playing. So I'm like just like
Loving it.
feeling my vibe, and they're drinking. So like it was perfect. Like
Yeah.
everybody like found something, and then we played. I've ever played snooker before.
I know what snooker is, but I don't know
It's
if
like
I
a
played
smaller table. It's like pool, but like a smaller table. The first time Tony and I
it.
played,
It's got the
and-
little pegs in the inside, or no?
No, it's like literally like miniature pool. Like it's smaller balls and like
Oh.
a slightly smaller table, and yeah, just like different colors, and it was cool.
Yeah, Yeah, no, I played a bigger version in Thailand where it's like the pool table's like double the size. and It's
Really?
like these red ball. It's like very hard.
Oh wow.
I'm not even good at regular pool, let alone that.
Yeah.
And that's called snooker, and it's just smaller pool.
Yeah.
I don't know what they're doing.
I don't know what's
It's all
going on.
pool.
Yeah.
I'm not good at any of it.
So what's Spain? What did you like about Spain? Like, what
So-
was the thing that you're like, oh, this is like one of my favorite
I
stops?
kept comparing it to Mexico. I kept being like, it's just like Mexico. But if you know anything about history, like Spanish people really loathe that.
Yeah.
And so I had to like teach myself to stop saying that. But that's what I like. I like anything that reminds me of Mexico. I love Mexico. It's my favorite country in the world. And then I go to Spain. I'm like, oh, this is kind of like it. And then I went to Thailand. I was like, this is like Asian Mexico. Like everything, anything that's like sunny. The people are nice. The people don't have a lot, but they're happy. Like that's
Yeah.
I like those kind of areas. The only bad part about Spain is everyone is so good looking that it's a little bit unnerving.
Is it intimidating whenever you're like approaching women at the bar or whatever?
Oh, no, there was no approaching women at the bar. Like we went to this club, and they're like, all right, so we're gonna have dinner at like midnight or 12:30, and then about 1:30 is when the club opens. I was like, we're starting the night
Yeah.
at 1:30, and they're like, yeah, man, that's how it works out here. And I was like,
It's how things work.
I was like, all right. So we're eating dinner, and I guess they told us this is the hottest club in all of Spain, and it's because all the soccer players.
Spain's hottest club.
Yeah, that's what it felt like. Well, the thing is, it's because all the soccer players party there. So all the hottest girls in Spain are like, oh, there's going to be these athletes that are millionaires who are like celebrities, who are handsome, who are athletes. I'm going to go there. So the hottest women I've ever seen in my life, like probably 100 of the most beautiful women I've ever seen in my life, were on the same night at the same place. Like, and I made a list. They were all at this place, and I was like, this is crazy.
What is happening right
It was
now?
amazing, right? And so we're like, we're all happy and proud of ourselves. And then all the guys came in. Just as hot. They were the hottest guys I've ever seen in my life. And me and the guys at the table were like, oh, they're going to have sex with all of them.
Do we get a watch? Is this one like one of the
so
tourist
unfair.
attractions?
I came out, I was like, oh, man, what's going on? They're like, back in the shadows, ugly. They were like, oh, man.
In the shadows.
I should have been shoveling
They
coal.
started spritzing you like a cat, like scat.
I should have been shoveling coal for these people. Like, and I'm not an ugly guy, but to them, I was like a monster.
Well, that's what I was gonna say. Is like for you to be like, I do not feel like I belong here. Like they got to be some pretty attractive
Dude,
Spanish
Everyone
men and
had
women.
abs, like perfect features, like diamond, like
Everything is like a workout fitness video where they're pulling it up. It's just like beads of sweat
and they're all
going down.
dancing all sexy and like, I mean, it was so much. It was so psychologically devastating.
Did you try to dance? Like, did you
No.
try to like get out on like throw any moves or anything?
No. And some girls came up to us because we were in like a special area. And the reason we were in the special area is because the guy that got us into that club was like, these are Americans and they're on TV and they're, they need to be treated special.
Give them special treatment.
Right.
Yeah,
and then, so that kind of helped us a little bit because girls were like, I wonder why those Americans are in that
Why
special
are they up
area.
there in the loft area?
And if they ask, then someone's gonna go, oh, they're on TV in America and they're stars or whatever. Else we lied, And so then the girls would come up to us. The girls spoke no English, so I'd be like, "How's it going?" And they're like, "Oh, like español," and we're like, "Oh, English," and then they're like, "Oh," and they like just dance away. So it's like we had like 5 interactions with hot girls. We had like 5 interactions, and we were like over 5 on all of them. And even then, it's like it's 4:00 in the morning. You're just now saying hi to someone. It's
Yeah.
like, what's gonna happen?
You're like money.
Yeah.
we have money.
Can I buy you things? I'm good at buying
a
things.
drink? You
It
want
was
one?
so bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, I couldn't wait to get to any English-speaking place after that because I was just like so discouraged by Spain's beautiful people. But it's good too. It was nice. It was really sunny, and we had a good time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Heck yeah.
You're a married guy though, so it's different.
Yeah.
When you go to a place, you're like, no, I'm good. I'm just happy. If they got music,
Yeah.
I'll enjoy that. If they've got food, I'll enjoy that.
Yeah,
I imagine you smoke.
It's I don't actually.
Oh, you don't?
No.
Okay. Well, I thought you did. So you just enjoy what you can, and then you go home to your happy life.
Yeah.
It's nice.
That sounds so funny.
A lot of guys have like an expectation, We're like, all right, we gotta.
You're like, enjoy what you can. What does this guy enjoy?
No, you're happy. You don't need all that shit. I think that's healthy. That you don't need to drink to be happy, or you don't
Yeah,
need to
I'm
dri-
just
I
like-
support that.
In the mix. Yeah.
You're happy. You're fine.
Yeah. I'm just like doing my thing.
Yeah.
I like.
It's
I
weird though. Your look suggests that you do.
Oh, for
if
sure.
we're to profile.
Which, you know what? It's kind of interesting. I'm starting to get a little over that. The older that I get, I'm starting to get a little bit like, as much as I like having long hair, I'm thinking about changing my hairstyle just because like I audition a lot for Slacker and Stoner stuff, and I'm like, this just like isn't like I don't mind acting, but like I'm also like this isn't me at all. I'm like, it might be time to switch it up. I don't know. Yeah,
I think you should. If it is. Unfortunately, we live in a world where people look at people and we put them into boxes.
Yeah, like instantly.
The box you're always going to be put in is like, oh, I bet that guy parties or that guy smokes or that guy drinks.
Yeah.
But you are a musician, so it fits that box.
It does fit that box.
Right.
So
maybe not sax.
What
box does sax?
Well, I don't know. What hairstyle? What
does a saxophone guy look like? I don't know,
man. What does?
Here's a fun question though for you. What hair are you thinking about? If you're not gonna
That's the thing. I don't really like. I don't really know.
Because you might cut your hair off and then go, God, I don't feel like myself at all.
Yeah.
Because you're so used to this being yourself.
Well, I've had this for a long time.
Yeah, it's a big part of your identity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then I go through an identity crisis.
Well, have you considered? Well, I thought about when they cut my hair off. Like, so I used to have I've always had shaggy hair. Like in Seattle, I was a Seattle boy, you know. And then I get on TV and they're like, "Hey, we're gonna cut your hair." And I was like, I don't care if it's whatever you need. You know? I don't care that much about it. And I didn't think I did. And then they cut it off. And everybody's like, I was like the shaggy hair, kitty cat t-shirt, happy-go-lucky, smiley Jeff, like Taoist. Like everyone's like, oh, Jeff's a pacifist. He's harmless. The second they cut my hair off and put me in clothes that were form-fitting, I heard douchebag 30 times a day. Like, everyone's like, oh, what a not people that knew me. Just, audience members like, oh, this douchebag. I was like, I'm not a douche. I'm nice, man. I'm the kitty cat guy.
Yeah. Guys, I like professional wrestling.
Yeah, well, I don't know why you're mad at me.
Yeah.
But it's because people can't separate what people look like.
That's interesting. Yeah. I mean, that's why I guess it's important as stand-ups, whenever we go on stage, usually you have to address how you look in some way, especially if you have, a look. You got to get that out of the way before you can move on with the rest of your act.
Yeah. And that's what makes all this gender stuff really interesting.
Yeah.
It's we don't want a comic to just get up there and talk about one thing the whole time.
Yeah.
However, we do need them to talk about it at least first. You're like, I want to know what they're at.
All right, just
now drop it.
Okay, now we're good.
Now I know.
Okay.
Drop it.
Perfect.
No more gender stuff.
I was doing some research on you online.
Oh yeah,
and I found out this is something that I actually didn't know about you. You did Last Comic Standing back in the day.
Yeah,
Got me
third place.
Okay, well, tell me what that experience is like, because what did you enjoy being a part of? Basically, kind of like a reality competition stand-up show.
Yeah, I loved it, and also it changed my life forever. I went from living in a car to having a lot of money.
So what year was this?
2008.
Okay.
But also during that time period, they would shoot a little bit, and then you'd have 3 months off, and then they'd shoot a little bit of it, and then it'd be a month off.
So
then they would go into live performances.
Who were the class of comics that you did Last Comic Standing with?
So it was Louis Ramey, Marcus Hardy, and also it's not lost on me that we had a very gimmicky year. It was all about the gimmick. So they're like, this is the first year we've ever let sketch groups in. This is the first year we've had international. So when they do stuff like that, that also means you've got to believe they're going to leave spots so that the finalists will. Does that make sense?
Of course.
Now it's become, well, we got to keep 2 British spots because we have all the British. We can't put none of the British comedians in if we're advertising.
We need those viewers, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And so there was a lot of that. There was an Indian guy named Papa CJ. I'm trying to think. Sean Cullen, who I think is a genius. You'd love that guy. Do you know who he is?
I don't know Sean Cullen.
Dude, you'd love him. He's so talented, so fast. He reminds me a lot of you. And he's musical. He's a musical guy.
Nice.
That was another thing. They're like, oh, we've got this music act. And that's never done before on Last Comic Standing before our year. And then they made us live in a house. And it was part was actually really exhausting because they would just film all day.
I like how that was a big thing in the 2000s, early, mid, and even later, before the last 5 years. They're we're gonna put them in a house and see what happens.
It was awful.
Like, see how these different walks of life come together and see if they butt heads.
Yeah,
You're like, why
yeah.
are you signing all this? Like, don't worry about it.
Also, why would that be a thing? Never in the world are we going to put 10 people in a home. Like,
Yeah,
why
yeah.
would they have to do that?
Oh, you have a problem with this person? You have to live with them now.
Enjoy your bunk beds.
Yeah, it's like, huh?
Yeah. And that's what it felt like. It was like they were just literally trying to agitate us. Like the AC stopped working for like a week, and you're like, what a coincidence.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
Oh, interesting.
We were getting along too well. Is that what happened?
Yeah,
You wanted
yeah.
us irritable?
Turn up the heat.
I'm trying to remember. They had a good argument for why they do that stuff, though. Their argument was if people wanted to watch stand-up comedy, they would just go to Comedy Central, where at the time Comedy Central was playing a lot of stand-up.
Sure.
So like we're trying to do produced things that are
That makes sense.
different and still shine light on comedians.
Yeah.
Yeah. Have you ever thought about? I mean, you're at this point, you're too.
So I've been approached for America's Got Talent about 5 times now. Between either like my stand-up that they've been looking for like impressionists for multiple years, and then I've got approached a couple times for Pat Reagan and I for my music act, Reagan and Watkins. We might do something, not on America's Got Talent. I feel like that's not for me personally my path. I'm still trying to hold out to try
It's
to
tough.
get on a sketch show because I feel like it can sometimes work against you
Yeah.
if you do something like an America's Got Talent. But then again, who knows? Like Melissa Villaseñor, perfect example. She did America's Got Talent, and then like she ended up getting on SNL later. And I definitely thought like that would work against somebody who's like going out for a
They kinda
sketch
just
show,
forget,
but
yeah.
they kind of forget sometimes. So I might be overthinking it, and maybe I should have just already done it by now. But who
It's
knows?
tricky. Yeah, because that's the approach I took. It's like, listen, no one else is calling, and I'm sleeping in the back of a car.
Yeah,
Where does the pride come in? Like, I'm just gonna do last comic. I'm gonna be myself, and if anyone hates me,
Yeah.
because of that, whatever. And I noticed that it did leapfrog me into a lot of opportunities I would have had to have done. Does that make sense? Like I didn't really. I skipped a lot of stuff. And so for that part, it was great. But I was doing it to live. I was doing it to survive. I was doing it to I was like, what's better? Like having a bed or sleeping in a car? Like this is going to
Like,
quickly.
I'll choose bed.
Yeah, I went from like working for a few $100s, maybe $500 a weekend at like local stand-up comedy places in Seattle to literally getting to headline any comedy club I want in America. And that alone was worth it to me.
Yeah,
I'm happy. I like seeing my name on marquees and going, oh, I'm headlining this club that I've always wanted to say. Oh, and the money, a lot better than $500.
Yeah.
And that's because Last Comic Standing. So I take the bad with the good. Sure, people are going to, talk shit about me and call me corny, like when the show was airing. And, but so what?
yeah, it works out.
Yeah, it worked out.
And everybody has their own path.
Are you wanting to be on SNL? It's
Yeah.
insane that they haven't put you on that.
Right now where I'm at, they say I look too similar to another cast member on the show. So
That was their argument?
yeah, they
What
saw
a way
me-
to say you're a white guy.
yeah.
Which is really what I get. If I could tell you how many emails I have, they're like, "Hey man, we're not really looking for any white guys." I've had like that email. I never had that in my career, and then in this last 2 years, I've had it like 40 times.
Yes, we're at an interesting precipice right now.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
strange to me. Comedy's always been a ton of white guys.
Yeah.
Now there's too many white guys. It's like I see less white guys. What are you talking about?
Let's start a sitcom called Too Many White Guys.
There's too many white guys.
Just too many white guys.
I can't even believe that someone would type that into an email.
We're good on whites right now.
Yeah, but they should just say no interest or you suck or get better. I would be happier with that answer than going, "Oh, sorry, we've got a lot of white guys. We're looking for less white guys."
It's a hard one
Wow,
sometimes.
what a interesting. That's a very fascinating sentence to read.
But you know what? You're a white guy who made it on The Tonight Show.
Yeah,
That's twice, right?
right. Yeah,
That's pretty cool, man.
yeah. I'm proud of that. But usually you go, "Oh, look, I did the Tonight Show. Maybe I could come play here." And they go, "We got white guys. We got enough."
Oh, at comedy clubs even? You're facing
Yeah,
that?
a Comedy Store twice. Adam Eakins emailed me that.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I was like, I'm just looking for spots. I wasn't asking to get passed. Yeah,
There's a lot of white guys there, right?
there's too many white guys.
There's a
It's
lot
such
of
a
white
weird,
guys.
so stupid.
There's a lot of white guys. Yeah. I mean, yeah. I feel like that's there's a pretty much any club in LA, like you could get that answer for sure.
Right. Yeah, it's weird.
Yeah, it's a hard one though. It's a hard one to get.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just book whoever's funny. Who cares? That's how success works. That's how hierarchies are. You just book who's funny.
Funny. The cream rises.
Yeah,
The funny cream rises.
yeah. Like you just say, oh, this person. I watched the tape. He or she is very funny. Mm-hmm. And that's it. It's very easy.
Both. We don't know.
Yeah, or
We don't know.
whatever the 75,000 genders are now.
We don't.
If they're funny, put them up.
Yeah.
That's what we need.
Yeah.
We need to be whoever's
That's
funny.
what's always interesting about like a show like Kill Tony is getting introduced to like brand new people where I'm like, where did you come from?
Right.
Like that sometimes they're like really good. I mean, you get both sides of it.
But it's good when they're bad too. I like it watching bad.
Yeah,
comedy, too. If it's short.
I know it's like let's condense that. Let's not stretch this whole thing out.
yeah.
A minute we can handle.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, I don't know.
I thought Tony was gonna be really mean, but he wasn't. He's pretty nice to him.
No. I actually listened to some of Tony on your podcast.
Yeah,
and I think that's something like a preconceived notion that they think about Tony is that he's going to be very
eviscerate him.
But
yeah.
dude,
well, because he's the roast guy, and he's
Right.
also he looks like a comic book villain. You know, he has like the demeanor and the look of like literally. That's a box we would put him in if we were casting something.
Yeah.
Maniacal genius,
Yeah, of
evil
course.
lord. Yeah.
Yeah, if you were to draw
Oh yeah,
a high school villain,
that's the guy.
that's Tony.
Yeah.
Yeah, but no, you like people are always surprised that like whenever we do meet and greets after shows for just weekends of his stand up, then when we go on the road or Kill Tony, like how nice he is to fans and
Yeah,
stuff.
he's a great guy. He's a really nice guy. I think that like, even the name has like a name like Kill.
Well, yeah, it's right
So,
away like
so it's that triggers you
intense.
like, oh god, it's gonna they're gonna be hard on me, and then what, he's just gonna judge my 30 seconds, like that's all of those things seem like a nightmare, and then you watch it and he's really fun, it's really great, he's pretty nice to them, even when they suck, he's very like, all right, let's talk about this, you know. I feel like if Daniel Tosh had the exact same show, I mean, it would be, he would not hold back, like
it might be too cringy.
I would watch every second of it. But I think, not that would be better. It'd just be a totally different version, and that's what I was expecting. I was expecting Tony to be like Daniel Tosh, where he's just gonna go for the joke.
Yeah.
And he doesn't.
Yeah,
which is good.
Yeah. Let's get into this next segment, fanning out.
Oh yeah.
Fanning out. Questions from fans.
Ooh, here we go. First question.
Okay.
Comes from on Instagram at Noodles140. What was the first?
Not their birth name, I'm guessing.
Not Noodles was not their birth name. What was the first joke you ever told? Do you remember? Like even if it's like the premise or whatever.
For stand up. Mm-hmm. So I remember I just watched this.
You
movie.
go back to a street joke you heard as a kid.
Yeah, like when I was a little boy.
Here we go. So
Like 5th grade, I got a
chicken
laugh.
crosses the road. And you're like, no, Jeff, I meant in your stand up. Oh, okay.
The first, I just watched the movie White Noise. Have you seen that?
White Noise. I feel like I have.
It might even have Michael Keaton or something. Or it was like a horror film, but I don't know if it's Michael Keaton, but it's something like that, I thought. But basically the idea is that like he's lost a loved one, or for whatever reason he starts listening to static because a group of people tell him like, if you listen to static long enough, the other side can try to communicate through it.
Yes.
It's a real phenomenon. It's not a real phenomenon, but it's a thing that people believe in. That is, there's a community that does this. So I watched this movie.
By the way, how freaky would that be to just know somebody, like you go over to their place and you walk in and you're like, what are you doing?
Yeah, what
And
are you
they're just
listening to? Trying to talk to Graham.
Okay, well,
I'll talk to you never again. Bye. Like it doesn't. That's what it sounds like, I think.
hello?
Jeff died.
Graham?
This is your Graham.
Why do you talk so different now?
I'm on the other side.
Oh no, your voice is so different.
No, it's exactly as you remember it.
How do I know it's you and not just some evil force pretending to be you? Oh God.
What do you mean?
That's what the premise was that
Yeah.
the premise was like, I think if demons and people wanted to, or if demons and ghosts or spirits, whatever you want to label it, could talk to humans that are currently occupying a body, a spirit or whatever, they'd probably just do that. They wouldn't need you to sit around and wait listening to static.
Are you a ghost person? Do you believe in ghosts or supernatural?
Yeah, I believe in
beings
a lot of that stuff.
Yeah,
I think some of it's pretty irrefutable. Like stuff will happen. Where you're
right.
like, oh, gee.
Right, go. I think that.
Right. But I don't have any experiences or anything like that. I just watch all that kind of stuff.
You know what's interesting, and it could be so. When we were in Europe, this just happened. I don't know if it was because I was getting very sick or not, and I had this illusion of something that happened. But so in Europe, we got really sick. We got a 24-hour bug where me, Red Band, and Tony were all vomiting a ton, and it was both ends kind of thing. It was a mess. I think it's called neurovirus, where I think we shook somebody's hand and they just gave us something that, like, literally a bug that, like, we thought it was food poisoning, but we all three had different dinners. So we're like, we got to rule that out.
Right.
And we looked things up, and it's a common traveler's virus that happens to white people.
Oh, no.
Yeah. Oh, no.
It shows we're all facing a battle.
We're very weak because our Mexican buddy, Joel, the drummer, he did not get it.
Yeah, he's out partying, living it up.
Yeah. So,
how's your guys' butts?
Yeah, losers.
See you later.
See you, dude. So before I go to sleep, I'm starting to get sick, but before I went to sleep, I looked outside underneath our hotel room door. This was in Dublin. And I saw the shadows of what looked like two shoes, like somebody standing in front of our door.
Okay.
And I kind of wrote it off. I was like, whatever.
Right.
And I went to sleep. But then I started thinking like really like weird, dark thoughts. And I'm on this tiny bed. It's like a single, like I was sleeping 2 to a room with my buddy Joel. He's in a single bed and I'm in a single bed. And I'm on my side. And you ever have somebody get in bed next to you and you feel the weight of a bed like change? It felt like somebody was pressing their hand down on the bed next to me.
Yeah.
And I was like, I started freaking out. I'm like, why? Like, I don't know if it was the illness, like that. I just started like, kind of conjuring some whatever, but like it was the weirdest sensation I felt
when
in a
you
long
felt that,
time.
did you turn around and look, or did
no,
you just stayed shocked?
I honestly, I started like praying. I was like, let's just
really,
yeah. I was just, it freaked me out.
I think that stuff's very real. I think where it gets tricky is when people try to start exploiting it. That's when my skepticism comes in.
Right.
So like mediums, they'll have them at like comedy clubs.
Yeah, well, yeah, the medium people, I don't know. Like
I think that power exists. I think that you can maybe speak to the other side. I think there's people that can do this. I don't think that they're drumming it out for $15 a ticket.
Right.
And they're going, is it S name? You're like, I don't think that the other side is talking to you like in just little symbols.
Also, this is the 10th letter that you've tried on me. S T R R U V.
Is it a boy? And you're like, wow, she must be talking to the other side. She guessed something that's
shot.
50. Yeah. So that's why it's so foolish. And manipulative too, because people want those answers so bad. Like if you lose someone like in a car accident and you have none of this closure, now you're grasping for anything.
Well, that's
and then
the thing.
This bald lady from New Jersey is going to be like, well, I can tell you about your daughter, and you're like, that's not fair.
That's what somebody put it really well to me is people are preying on other people's dreams, like a predator. And that's like when people want, like, that's why a lot of people get scammed doing certain classes or certain things out here in LA is they want it so bad they're blind to being scammed.
Right.
Because they're like, this has to be real because they're like, this is meant to be, you know what I mean?
Right.
Like that kind of thinking because they literally were wanting it so bad.
Okay for them to want it that bad that they're blind to it. What's not okay is someone knowingly
taking advantage of that.
Yeah, like comedy classes.
Yeah.
Or Any of these other thieves, Kyle Cease, Louie Anderson did it for a long time. Now he's like so successful from that show that he's trying to act like he didn't. But he preyed on young comedians' dreams. And then I'm trying to think of the other, like church people will sometimes do it. They'll be like, oh, you give to the church, just trust you'll be fine. It's like that's really unfair.
Yeah, it happens a lot.
Yeah, it's not nice.
So your first joke?
Yeah, it was about white noise.
It was about white noise.
Yeah,
Wow.
it was bad.
And then we went on a tyrant about all this other stuff.
Yeah, dude, we get deep, dude.
We get
I'm not
real
afraid
deep,
to
dude.
get deep on this show.
Yeah.
Let's see all the stuff coming out of your head.
Yeah.
You could put more stuff on there, like ghosts, demons, Louie Anderson. You could put whatever you want in there now after some of our little conversations.
Dude, this is really, really awkward, but Louie Anderson's calling to the show right
Oh,
now.
God. I would love to talk to him.
Okay.
Hello, this is Jeff.
Hey, Louie. It's Jeff Dyer. Remember, we've worked together at the Comedy Magic Club a few times.
Yeah, hey, how you doing?
I'm good. Remember when you and Kyle Cease took all those comedians' money?
No, I can't recall.
You don't remember
I
that?
don't remember. Can you remind me?
Yeah, okay, so you and Kyle Cease started a
Okay.
stand-up comedy program.
Yeah, sure. Okay.
Teaching young people to follow their dreams.
Yeah, it sounds like a great course.
Well, it was a very expensive course.
Well, yeah, I can't give away this information for free.
I feel like you might be able to, and it's okay. But if you did that, but I guess I'm just asking is why you didn't kind of like fulfill all those promises that you guys made to those, or why you unfollowed them on Instagram like immediately.
We were showing the promises.
Well, Louie, I think I'm just suggesting like maybe just stay their friend on Facebook at the least. That's free.
I had to unclog my
Right.
account. There's a lot of people. I need to get some new slots in there.
Well, I guess you've got an answer for all these things. I guess you're right.
Well, yeah. Come on. I mean, there's not a lot of new crew and cast from Baskets.
That's true.
A lot of
A
family.
lot of more successful people that
lot
you're
of-
interested in.
Well, I wouldn't put it like that.
Well, I think that's kind of how you're putting it.
Well, I don't.
How do you decide who to unfollow?
I mean, if they don't have any followers, I'm gonna lose them.
Yeah.
Oh, whoops! I didn't mean to say that.
But they did pay you money. I mean, it's crazy.
I mean, they're less friends than customers,
That's true. I think if I pay you money, though, maybe like just keep me
Oh,
around.
you think I owe you a follow if I give you some, if you pay me money?
I guess, yeah, I guess I do.
Okay, well, I don't understand. I think our logic is kind of on different pages.
I think so too. I think that's the problem fundamentally with most of this is that we're on different pages.
Okay, well, see you soon at the Comedy Magic Club.
All right, see you, Lou.
All
Love you,
right,
bud.
love you. Watch Baskets.
He seems like a good guy.
Baskets. That's how he says goodbye on the phone nowadays. He lives in.
Okay, watch Baskets.
I think he lives by me.
Does he?
I think I saw him in a crosswalk.
I've had a couple good conversations with him. Didn't know anything about the that comedy class thing. That's kind of crazy.
Yeah, he was like the celebrity. Kyle
Gotcha.
Cease was like the, I don't know what that would be called. The ringleader, the con guy, the
ringleader.
face of the. I don't know what it is.
The face of the operation.
Yeah, the one who's like, oh, we can make a ton of money off these people. Kids that were following their dreams.
Come on.
That's why Doug Standup was so mad about
There's
it.
a market.
Yeah, he's like, no, look at them all. They all have money, and they all want to learn this thing, and they'll listen to us.
Wow.
Yeah. Well, you know what? You take Second City. Mm-hmm. Some people have described those kind of things as very tricky.
Well, there's definitely some things with certain improv classes that are pretty frustrating. One of the things, like, I got amazing. The only issue that I ever had with Second City, because they were amazing to me, I really don't have anything bad to say about them. The only thing that's kind of annoying and frustrating is I did their entire program, graduated from it out here in LA.
Nice.
And you are not considered an alumni after
But you did all of it.
You're considered a graduate, and your courses do not even transfer to the main stage in Chicago. Like,
why?
Exactly.
Yeah, that's weird.
That's my only thing where I'm like, that seems pretty messed up.
So I found it interesting because I did the UCB classes.
Yeah.
And what I found was that, like, if the funniest guy in our class, or if the funniest woman, whatever,
could be a white person,
could be a lady,
not,
could be a
knows?
guy, maybe
We're
not.
not judging here.
Male, female, cis, pan, whatever. would graduate the class the same way the worst person in our class would, because they want them to take that next class. Instead of my teacher sitting down going, hey, I don't think this is really right for you. I feel like you didn't really pick up on the stuff that we're teaching as fast as maybe some of the other ones did. What I think you should do is take this class over again, maybe with a different teacher or whatever. Don't just say, oh, they're on to the next one, because when they're on to the next one, they've
weighing
got
down
these
the rest
false
of the class
hopes.
too.
They're weighing down that, and they also think, oh, look, I'm so far in the course. But you're not as good as these other people. But they're doing it because if they tell them the truth and say, I want you to do this class over again, they might not buy that first class again.
Well, that's a problem that a lot of people have with the groundlings. Is actually the other way around. Is they have been accused of failing people on purpose so they retake it and they keep them in the system rather than passing them through.
But I think passing them through just keeps them in the system also. At
Well,
least
the way-
failing
the
them
way
gives
they-
them some grounded reality. It's not like the
Yeah.
funniest people in that class are getting failed.
Yeah, but after a certain, I think you can't fail once you get to the upper. Well, if you make it to the upper track, then you're serious, obviously, about improv. But that's what's harsh about that system is if you fail out of their upper class, you can never do it again.
Oh, wow.
You can't retake.
Right.
You're kicked out.
But that's interesting. I think
that's to clean the system.
That's definitely not like a money making scam.
Yeah.
So it's I kind of agree with it.
Yeah.
Like think about the NBA. Like, what if I had millions of dollars? I'd be like, can I buy myself into can I play for the Portland Trailblazers? They'd be like, no, you stink.
Yeah, you're not good
Yeah,
enough,
you're
dude.
not good. You're old. You're like, this isn't how the NBA works.
Yeah.
So like, there's all these new problems because it's a business instead of like a thing. So they're like, oh yeah, this guy very funny. This guy not funny. Both of them passed. You're like, no,
That's doesn't.
not how it should work. What are you afraid you're gonna run out of humans?
Yeah, come on. This next question.
Oh, next question.
Comes from
Noodle's friend.
At Manny H Comedy. Who was your favorite wrestler from the Attitude Era?
So one thing about me is I like all the giant wrestlers. If you lined up all my favorite wrestlers, they look alike. It's always the big, like Undertaker, Kane, Diesel. Like Razor Ramon is like the smallest wrestler I ever liked, and I think he's like 6'7". Braun Strowman. I like the Bobby Lashley. I like the new Australian guy. I forget his name. But like the Giants. I like.
Did you like the Andre the Giant documentary?
Yeah, it was good because I didn't know any of that.
Yeah.
I didn't know any of that stuff. Like when I saw the Ric Flair 30 for 30, I was like, I already know all this. So it's like it's not that as exciting. But I didn't know anything about Andre.
Yeah.
So I thought it was so good.
It was pretty great.
Depressing.
Yeah.
Must be hard being a giant.
Well, dude, yeah. Dude, the picture that they showed of him in the in like the plane, like they didn't maybe they didn't show a picture of that, but I got such a strong visual.
They did show a picture of
the
him
bucket
sitting in two planes
of
or two seats.
the two seats, and also he would have to poop in a bucket on the plane.
So gross.
It's like because he can't fit in that tiny room.
Well, that happened in a ton of hotel rooms too. It just had to poop in buckets. Yeah, think about how uncomfortable we are just flying on regular planes.
I know.
Like I'm uncomfortable on a plane, and I'm not a giant.
Living as a giant. You know what? This is really weird. Andre the Giant is actually calling into the show right now.
Through white noise?
I think we actually have a pretty strong connection.
Wow, this is pretty good.
Yeah.
Let's hear him.
Hello, Andre?
Hello? Hello?
Hello, Andre?
Sorry, this phone is so tiny.
Yeah.
Hello?
Yeah.
Hello?
Yeah. Hey.
Hello?
Yeah, yes.
It's me, Andre.
No, Andre. Yes. Yeah. You called into the show.
Yeah. Please, no talking about me pooping in buckets. Please.
Okay. Sorry that I mentioned that on the show.
Yeah. Hello?
Yeah. No, you're still on the line. You I know you're a giant, but you know how phones work, right?
Yeah. Flip phone. Got a flip phone.
Are you saying new phone? Who dis?
I got a flip phone.
Oh, you got a flip phone.
Yes.
But doesn't. How do you even open it? Your hands are so big.
That's why I'm having trouble.
Okay. Well, Andre, I had a couple questions for
Hello?
you. Yeah. Yes, I'm on.
Yes.
Yes, we're talking right now.
Go ahead with What's the question?
Yeah. Do you care if I use any baby oil if we
No!
if we wrestle? Can I maybe use some baby oil?
No! You macho man. Shit. Hello?
Yes.
Alright. No more poop talk, neither.
Okay. No more poop talk.
No poop.
No poop talk. No baby oil.
No.
All right. What's your drink of choice?
Wine, beer,
This guy is so hard to talk to.
wine, beer.
I don't know if I can talk to this guy much
Come
longer.
on.
Yes.
It's me,
Yes.
Andre.
Okay, I understand. You've told me it's. I'm just impressed that you know who I am.
I was listening when he was talking about the bucket.
Okay, no more poop talk. No more. I'm gonna have to let you go. Okay.
Right.
Okay, Andre.
Okay.
You're very hard to talk to.
Hello?
No. Goodbye.
Hello?
Goodbye.
Was that the worst impression you've ever heard of Andre the Giant?
No, not really.
I feel like that's how he would talk.
No, of course.
He would not know what's
He's just
going on.
screaming into.
That's how old guys talk.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
You know who's got giant voice is Andrew Luck. Do you like football? There's a quarterback. He's not even that big, and he's got giant voice.
Oh, he's got
like it's like in the back. He's like,
He's got
"Hey,
that.
we went out there," and you're like, "What?"
Yeah, sometimes you're out on
Yeah.
the field. He's like,
And you're
"What?"
like, "Why are you talking like a giant?" That don't make no
He's
sense.
got that overdeveloped throat, dog. Yeah. This is from your. I remember you telling this on this story on This Is Not Happening.
Yeah.
At motoriousm.o.e on Instagram. Jeff, do you still have that jersey? And how did the charges play out?
I do not have the jersey anymore. What happened was, a little sequel to that story, is that he kept calling and saying, like, listen, I need my jersey back. Let's work something out. You know, you give me money and my jersey back and I won't press, or you give me my jersey back and money and whatever. And I was like, all right, how about this? I'll give you your jersey. I'll give you money. You give me a contract saying that you're not going to press charges against me or Brant Tobler. And he's like, no, I'm going to press charges. And I was like, well, then you're never going to see the jersey again.
Yeah.
If you're going to press charges,
Yeah, then what's the point of
do
this?
what you got to do. I'm
Yeah,
not going to
yeah.
give you money and the jersey and then go to jail. And he's like, don't, no, I that's exactly what's going to happen. I was like, no, it's not. Hey, go ahead, do what you want. I'll set it on fire right now. I'll give it to some girl. You'll never see this jersey again. He's like, don't do that. And then he hangs up. And then 2 or 3 days later, we got a fax. At my agency, got a fax, a signed contract saying that he won't press charges. But I had to give him the jersey, give him the money back. It's safe back at his bar. And I have that framed in my office now, that contract.
Heck yeah.
So when people ask about the jersey, I just go, there's the contract. And I like the contract because it explains everything that we did.
And for the listeners who don't know the story, can
Yeah.
you recap just like whose jersey it is and where you stole from real
so
quick?
just if you've never heard the story, it's on Comedy Central. It's called This Is Not Happening. I tell the story in depth, but this is the short version. I love football. Also, I know I'm a drunk, stupid idiot. I don't think I'm the cool guy in this story. It's just something that
You're
happened.
not the hero.
Yeah. It's good. It's good to note that.
Yeah.
So that when you hear this, you go, "That's not cool." You're like, yeah, I don't think. I'm not saying it's cool. Just drank too much. Me and my buddy Brant went to a bar, and we were like, the owner of the bar was a kicker in the NFL who was like famously a douche. Like he like choked a junior high kid. He's like he's
Classic
talked
move.
a lot of trash on TV about his own teammates, like while he played with them. And so we were like, we should, get something from this bar. We're like, we think we'd steal like a menu or like something on the wall just to be like, we stole this from his bar. Ha ha ha. But what we ended up stealing, because we got too drunk, was his Pro Bowl jersey. And then we got in a ton of trouble. And so we're like, all right, let's just put it back. Or we'll return it. So we returned it a couple days later. But then for the rest of the weekend, everyone was treating us like trash. Everyone's like, those comedians that stole that jersey. So we're like, screw it. So we went back and
Yeah,
stole
we
it
already
again.
have the bad mark on our record.
Yeah.
Why is everybody treating us bad?
If
Might
we're
as
going
well
to
take
be
advantage
punished,
of it.
yes, we went back and took it back. And then I had it for a long time.
That's awesome.
And everybody would come over, would wear it. We had it like in the hot tub. We had
Taking
girls.
pictures
Yeah, it was
of
the
it.
best. I have
Oh,
a ton of
that's so
people
funny.
have worn that jersey. But now it's back, safe with Mike Vanderjagt.
Well, there you go. This next question comes from at Herb Vinyl
Man, nobody uses their real names, huh?
on Instagram. Not really.
That's very weird. Is yours Jeremiah Watkins?
No, mine's Jeremiah Standup.
Okay.
Yeah, but I did that for a specific at the time, Watkins I don't think was available, but so rather than doing an underscore or something, I was like, I want people to know I do a lot of different things at the root of everything. I'm a stand-up, and I want people to know that.
Okay, that's good. Yeah, and
So
also
that's why I
maybe
do
they'll
that.
like look through a different Jeremiah Watkins. He's like a drummer or something. You're like, oh, this is the stand-up version. This is Jeremiah the stand-up.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Like, why not?
Fair enough.
What was your first bomb like?
Oh, the first time I ever bombed? Well, it was the first time I ever did stand-up. It was pretty humiliating. I went on stage like in flip-flops and like shorts and like, I mean, it was just, I didn't know anything about the etiquette of like comedy or anything. So they hated me right away.
You're like, the DJ's like, what song would you like to be going to? And he's like, 311, Amber, go.
Absolutely, dude. I like that you thought there'd be a DJ. There was like a crappy open mic in Seattle. There was nothing. Also, I told everyone in the audience.
You just tell an audience member, you're like, 311, Amber. You're like, what?
They're like, huh? How can I play
I'm not
that?
a DJ. Play it.
I'm not coming up till you sing it.
Until
then.
I hear you singing it, I'm not touching the stage.
Well, I did. How bad are my sensibilities? I told all my friends and family that I had been doing it for months and that like I'm a natural and that they think I've got a real future in this.
Oh,
so
no.
then so then my friends came. They saw me for the first time. I had already told them. I lied to them saying like, nah. I was like, I'm really good. It's what I want to do with the rest of my life. But I had never been on stage yet. And so when they saw me, they are under this impression like, oh, he says he's very good. And then the guy brings me up. He's like, this next guy, I think it's who you're all here to see. Go easy on him. It's his first time. And I was like, no, I lied. Like, but it didn't matter. So I get up there, and everyone knew right away. Like, I was so bad. Also, I was very inspired at the time by like Dane Cook, which it was this huge Dane wave.
Yeah.
And so I was like all over the place and like bending down and like sitting and like throwing myself on the ground. It was like just a lot. And then I was holding the mic like super close like this. So it was like, it was shouting and annoying and very loud. Everyone in the crowd. I remember people like wincing at certain parts. And it was a lot. It was a lot to take in.
That's what
felt as gross as it feels.
Now, what did your friends and family say to you after that?
They couldn't believe that I would want to do this. And also, like, I have a lot of people, especially at that time, I was a youth group leader, like, for, like, a church. And so,
How have we not talked about this?
I know.
That's amazing.
And a lot of people were like, why would he want to do this? And also, like, because they weren't laughing, I kept saying fuck over and over again. I kept, like, using, like, all these, like, bad words to them, to their ears. So they were just like, we went from loving this guy and like letting him like teach our kids and like being whatever, and now he wants to do this, like say the F word and flop around and bomb in front of everyone. So it was a lot.
That's a hard transition right there.
The worst.
Wow.
Yeah, it was
I'm
bad.
just imagining. So where are you originally from?
Seattle.
Seattle, that's right. Wow, just conservative family and friends just watching their sweet youth pastor Jeff
just bomb
and also use foul language.
Yep. And it was a nightmare. One time I brought a bunch of people. This was like a month later, maybe a few months later. I brought it.
You said this was a month ago, and
no, it was but I was like, I would bring so many people to the open mic. I was a dream.
You're that dude.
Yeah, I would bring like 80 people each time.
Oh my goodness!
And so the club owners were like, I don't care if he's bombs. I don't care if he's up there doing like hate speech.
He's
it's
up
an
there
open
for
mic.
5 minutes. Yeah,
No, they're like, it's an open mic. He brought
bringing
everyone.
in all this traffic.
They're all drinking on open mics are usually like off nights for
on
the
a
comedy
Tuesday
clubs.
or something like that.
Yeah, and so he was just getting all this business. He's like, no, this kid can go as long as
This
he
guy's
wants.
a star.
He can do whatever he wants. Yeah, and so exactly, he was a slime ball too.
There you go.
He was so excited to have me, and so.
Hey, I heard you got a lot of friends. You want to sign up? Is that true?
It is true, yeah.
Hey, I bet.
How much is it?
I stayed online. It's $1,700.
Yeah, that's. I don't have that much, but I assumed it'd be
But
somewhere
you got
around
a
there.
lot of friends, right?
Yeah.
Okay. We'll be in touch.
We'll be in touch. So this is so bad. It was like 80 of them. I did really bad. I didn't do it very good at all, and I get no laughs. And these are my friends and family, and no laughs. I get off stage.
Did you get those supportive like?
No, people
They're
were
just like
really
mortified.
upset.
They're like,
Yeah, and we just got back from like my little sister's like wedding, and so like all these people were like, oh, we heard you do comedy, like we're gonna come watch you tonight, and I was like, perfect. I had just no idea that I was just so optimistic. Like,
buckle up. What's up, you idiot?
I was like, I thought tonight would be the night, you know? Every night I thought, like, no, tonight's when I kill. Tonight's when it just never happened. So then I get off stage, and I'm, like, just kind of sitting in the dark, like, in my own thoughts, in my own brain of just, like, regret and sadness. Just a metaphoric gun to my throat. And so anyways, the guy that comes on after me, he didn't see my set. He just got called from a different comedy club. Like, we have a ton of people here. We need more comedians for this open mic. So he comes from the other comedy club. He comes down. He's like, this cool guy named Dan Moore. And he goes, I hear you're all here to see Jeff. And then the crowd, like, just kind of agreed, not very passionately. And then he's like, yeah, howdy do, man. And then the crowd just answered his question while I'm in the back of the room. They're like, he sucked. He was awful. He's like, Dane Cook wannabe. Like, they just started saying what they thought about me while I'm in the back, like in earshot. Yeah, just going, oh, no, why am I doing this to myself? And then he goes, I wasn't expecting that. And then he just started getting to his act because he thought I was a nice kid. I've met him a few times. And it was so humiliating.
Wow.
Yeah, so bombing is part of it. I tell people that all the time. If they're going to start comedy, it's not for a fragile ego.
Not at all.
You've got to be willing to just eat one sometimes.
Yep.
And when you first start, you got to be willing to eat it every night.
Yeah.
And that's part of it. It's good. It's good to bomb. Gives you perspective.
It definitely gives you perspective.
Yeah, I remember like this little kid comic. His name was Ryan Cudahy. He was like 15 or 14 when he first started. And he never bombed. He got up there and he just crushed. And I remember being like, this isn't healthy.
Yeah.
If you just, every time you get up there, you just do good, it's not.
Well, you're not going to learn.
Yeah.
At Josh Early, which cast member from Better Late Than Never has surprised you the most?
Surprised me the most. Interesting question.
Yeah, right?
I get asked that a lot, but never surprised. They say like, oh, who's your favorite or who's your whatever. Surprised me the most?
Could be with a trait that you didn't see.
George Foreman.
Yeah?
Yeah, because he's very, 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 very conservative. And he's got a big old family, which I knew about, but like his love for his family is pretty phenomenal. And the way he sees the world is not what I would have expected. He's a huge Trump guy. I would have never guessed that.
Yeah,
right? Yeah. But he's really good. Like one time I tried to do like a racial joke, like just a goofing around, and they just tell him like street jokes. These guys love street jokes, and so because they're old. And so I'd be like, oh, I got one for you, and I just read them off the internet most of the time. And I said one to him, and he goes, nope. I don't care about no color. We're all the same. I don't care. He didn't want to hear like a joke about race.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so I was very impressed by that. And
Okay.
I liked it. Yeah.
Cool.
But he's the one that surprised me the most.
All right. Let's get into this final segment.
Ooh.
Sax talk.
I love sax talk.
Sax talk.
Not a lot of people play the saxophone.
Especially not adults that you know.
Well, that's the thing. It's like, yeah, maybe for school, they pressure some kid into buying it.
Yeah.
But they don't ever follow up
See
with
it through.
Yeah, ever. How many saxophone people do you know that play?
I only know one other person who happens to be a comedian that plays, and I know a lot of people that I've met that are like, I used to play, or I can play, I just don't own one. You know what I mean? I'm
so
like,
yeah,
well,
so you know one person that still plays saxophone.
Yeah.
And you're in the saxophone community.
Yeah. Well, I'm in a very specific vector of it.
But
within comedy. But
you think
yeah.
that, you'd know some people.
Yeah.
No,
not many.
no band practice.
Not many. So I prepped Jeff before the show.
Yeah.
He's going to share a story of a sexual encounter, and I'm going to play some sweet, sweet saxophone underneath while he does it. Whenever you're ready, my friend, I will follow you.
Before we start the segment, I'd like to be clear that this is a sexual encounter, not a romantic or relationship encounter. This is more about sex than it is about love and relationships.
All right. Now that we have that disclaimer,
Yeah.
get ready for sax talk.
It was a cold, cold weekend in Chicago. And I was doing the comedy club at the Rosemont Zanies. The weekend was looking good. The numbers were good, and there was a table at the late show of younger gals who looked very beautiful. And when I say younger, I mean like college age. But I'm on board. After the show, I tell the girls I'm going to the bar next door if they'd like to join me for some drinks. When I get over there, I'm getting a lot of attention from these gals. In fact, they applauded when I walked in. I'm feeling real good. One of the girls walks over to me and starts flirting aggressively. Just then, her friend comes up to her and says, "What are you doing, Tiffany?" And she says, "She doesn't even know who you are. I'm the one who brought the whole group." So I say, "Hey, relax. Everything's fine. We're all just having a good time here." So she leaves, and the new girl is now flirting with me aggressively, very happy. She says, "Hey, forget my friends. Let's go back to your hotel." Now, I don't miss an opportunity when a beautiful woman tells me she'd like to go back to my hotel room. Single guy, single girl, enjoying each other's looks. So we go to my hotel room. Things get pretty heavy. We start having sex. I'm happy about it. She's happy about it. The world is feeling good. She is on top of me while we're having sex. And she makes a face that I've never seen before on someone. While we're making love, I don't want this face to be a face you make. She then throws up a large, weird spew of waterfall of white, creamy alcohol. Lands on my neck and chest. And I was so mortified that I ran into the bathroom and washed myself in the shower. She then is super embarrassed, and I went and cleaned her up. It was a nightmare. But all the same, I didn't want her to feel embarrassed. So I just pretended like it wasn't a big deal and went in my car and went home. The story sounds so much better with sax.
Aw, yeah.
Sax talk.
Sax talk. So that prevented you guys from moving forward.
Yeah, it was pretty gross.
It was too much.
It was too gross.
The mountain of
Yeah.
getting thrown up on.
Well, also, she was very embarrassed, and I didn't want her to feel embarrassed.
Yeah.
And you say to yourself when someone pukes on you, or if someone pukes around you, you think like, "Oh, I would start puking and it'd be so gross." I was actually pretty proud of myself that I kind of turned. I was very fatherly about it. I was like, "Oh, hey, like, don't worry about it. We're all drank too much."
Don't worry, child. It happens to the best of us.
Yeah, I was very nice about it. I was very proud of myself. I was like, I didn't freak out and go,
I'm a freaking gentleman.
Yeah, I wasn't like, "That's fucking gross. Ew, why'd you puke on me?"
You're
Like,
freaking nasty. Get out of my place.
which is what I feel like people think they would do if someone threw up on them. But
Don't worry, child. It happens to the best of us.
I was nice to her.
You're very nice.
It was nice.
Very nice. Well, Jeff, do you have anything you'd like to plug before you leave the show?
I have a podcast called Jeff Dye's Friendship Podcast that I'd love to have you on.
I would love to be on it.
Yeah, I just talk to my friends and we talk about whatever we want to talk about. This week we have Dane Cook. Last week we had Robert Luketic.
He was great on Kill Tony.
Oh yeah, he's
Dane
a great
was
guy.
awesome.
Yeah, he's a good guy. He's a good human. People give him a hard time. I don't know why. But we have a really good talk on my episode. And if you want to listen to it, it's just free on iTunes. But if you want to watch it, you can go to patreon.com/JeffDye, and you get free tickets to all my comedy shows. If you subscribe to my Patreon, you get
That's awesome.
you can watch any of the episodes of the podcast, past or present, and then you get little gifts. I give little gifts.
Ooh.
Yeah.
little gifts.
That's the page. I try to take care of my Patreon subscribers. you know?
Yeah, check out that Jeff Dye Patreon.
They're keeping me paid, you know.
Okay, I like that, man. I like that. I see you out there, man.
I see you, my man.
Hey, I've got a Patreon link too.
Oh no.
Yeah, LouieAnderson.com/Patreon.
You have enough money, Louie.
No, here, sign up on my Patreon, okay?
All right, I will.
Alright, we'll be in touch.
We'll be
check
in
out
touch.
Louie Anderson's Patreon, Jeff Dye's Patreon, and dude, thanks so much for doing the
Thanks
show.
for having me, man. This is fun. Good luck on all your travels.
Oh, you too, buddy.
More travels coming up.
Yeah, here we go.
Jeremiah Watkins,